Welcome to the John and Lillian Miles Lewis Foundation's launch event, our inaugural gala. We are delighted and truly honored that of all of the things you could be doing and have to do, you are here with us this evening. We are grateful. We are also grateful for Alfre Woodard hosting our program this evening. When Congressman Lewis learned that he would be honored with a naval ship being christened in his name, he asked Alfre if she would stand in for his wife, Lillian, who had passed. Alfre's grace, her poise, her determination surely reminded him of Lillian. Lillian had all of those qualities. Congressman Lewis passed before the ship was christened, but Alfre Woodard was there, and for that, I thank her. As much as today is a day to celebrate, it is yet another call to and for action. Tonight, Buffalo is that call. We all have to, and this foundation is going to, teach and follow what John Lewis called the way of peace. Shortly before he died, Congressman Lewis wrote a letter that he asked to be published following his death. In it, he said, "I have done all I can to demonstrate that the way of peace, the way of love and nonviolence is the more excellent way. Now it is your turn to let freedom ring." When historians pick up their pens to write the story of the 21st century, let them say that it was your generation who laid down the heavy burdens of hate at last, and that peace finally triumphed over violence, aggression, and war. "So I say to you," John said, "let the spirit of peace and the power of everlasting love be your guide. That is this foundation's commitment. Let it be yours too. Please, let there be no more Buffaloes or Laguna Woods or Charlestons or El Pasos or Pittsburghs. Please let there be no more hate crimes. Please let there be no more hate." I told Charlayne Hunter-Gault when she reminded me that May 17th is the day the Supreme Court issued its decision in Brown versus Board of Education that there are no coincidences when it comes to John Lewis. He did everything with intention and purpose. Those of you who knew him know what I'm talking about. So here we are launching the foundation that he created on the day the court said, separate but equal is not equal, and set the precedent for the desegregation of schools, buses, and other places of public accommodations, as well as for voting rights. In a way, the decision in the Brown case launched John Lewis. He was 14 years old when Brown was decided, and it was then that he decided to go to Troy State University. Well, that didn't quite work out, and oh, how glad we are that it didn't. John went on to ABT and Fisk University in Nashville, where under the tutelage of Reverend Jim Lawson, in the basement of the First Baptist Church, with Bernard Lafayette, Diane Nash, and others, he learned about peace and protest, nonviolence and direct action, and he committed to dedicating his life to improving the lives of others. Now, Congressman Lewis didn't give us a lot of guidance on the focus of this foundation. All he said was to make sure that it honors my wife, Lillian. He loved and honored Lillian. And make sure the foundation inspires good trouble. He said, expand on what I have done and do it in the spirit in which I would do it. Now, what he didn't say is what the it is. But he really couldn't. Who would have thought in 1965, when John Lewis was standing on the top of the Edmund Pettus Bridge, that there would be a Black Lives Matter plaza for him to stand on? In the last weeks of his life, the day before his last hospitalization, he stood on Black Lives Matter Plaza And without saying anything, he said it all. What a powerful and everlasting message. You know, I called Michael Collins, the congressman's longtime chief of staff, and I said, Michael, why did you let him do that? And he said, Linda, you know I tried, but you also know that I could not stop him. He was determined to send a message to young people, and he was intentional about how he was going to do it. Nothing was more important to John Lewis than inspiring others, particularly young people, to stand up, speak out, and never, ever give up. Our Good Trouble talk, the first of which will be presented this evening, is designed to do just that. Our work this past year, even before we officially launched, with colleges and schools to help shape curricula that prepare students to be good troublemakers and peaceful advocates, is designed to do just that. This is just the beginning of our journey, a journey on which we need you to come along with us. We cannot do it alone. We are fortunate to have members of the Lewis family with us this evening, John and Lillian's son, John Miles. John, wave your hand or something. And we also have with us John's niece and nephews, Angela, Jarek, Gary, Armand, and Ron. And I want to give special thanks and acknowledgement to Mignon Mormon Willis and Lynn Vaughn Van, whom Congressman Lewis asked to serve with me as the foundation's founding board members. Mignon, Lynn, where are you? Okay. I also want to thank Sherry Frank, Veronica Biggins, Helene Gale, and Fred Humphreys, who even before they officially joined the board, gave me guidance, confidence, wise counsel, and encouragement that this could be done, as did Michael Collins. Would you all stand up, please? I missed something. Okay, so I would thank our sponsors and our host committee members who worked so hard to make this event so successful. But Fred is going to do that. Before I turn it over to Fred, though, I just want to publicly say that as chair of this event, Fred really delivered. Just look around. This is an amazing group. I called Fred just a few months ago and I asked if he would join the foundation board. I said, now Fred, we're just getting started. There is much to be done. We have an unpaid staff of 1, and our resources are basically nil. But what we do have is a love for John and Lillian and a determination to do what they want this foundation to do. And Fred said without hesitation, I'm in, I will help, just tell me what you want me to do. Thank you, Fred, for your leadership, your generosity, your enthusiasm, and your commitment, and for making our inaugural gala so successful. Thank you.